Hello YouTube, it's Michael here. I'm doing a collection video on my PS1 games and the rare games out of it, a little bit of information about it and the price points, good price points that you should pick up the games for if you can find them for these prices. But my PS1 stuff has actually been pretty requested, so I figure I'd go ahead and do a video on it. Let's dive right into it. First game I'm showing is called Alondra. It's published by Working Designs. It's a one-disc game. When you pick it up, make sure it does have the maps. A lot of times I see it without the maps, so that's Working Designs always package cool stuff like that into a game. Like I said, it's just one disc. There are two of them. This is definitely more sought after. If you can pick this up between $20 and $30 complete, that's a good deal. I'd say it probably goes between $40 and $50. So. And I'll just show the second one since I mentioned it. This is definitely the weaker of the two. Definitely the more common of the two. This one I don't think came with maps. But it's just another one-disc game. I do believe they're action RPGs. But they're... I liked both of them. I definitely like the first one better. Good price point for this one. Probably be $15. If you can pick it up for $15, it'd probably be worth it. This next game, I do believe it's pretty rare. I only saw 2 copies ever, so that tells me a little something. It's called Azure Dreams. It's a Konami RPG. Konami makes RPGs every once in a while, and they do a pretty good job. I think it's an action RPG, but I remember even back in the day, this was pretty expensive. It used to go between like $30 and $40. I think it's gone up a little bit. If you can still pick it up for $30 or $40, I think it's worth it. I enjoy this game quite a bit actually, and I do believe it goes between like $40 and $50 now, complete in good condition. I'll just mention this game because back when I was collecting, this was actually a really expensive game. This used to go for about $75. It's just plummeted in price. It's called Blast Lacrosse. It is a lacrosse game. I have to think this is actually kind of rare. But I just wanted to mention that because it did used to command a high price. That was like 8 years ago. That was probably that price point. So it's only worth about $6 now. So... This next game is definitely sought after. I'm actually not sure how rare it is. I'm going to say if you can find it with the collector CD, it's probably pretty rare. It's just a one-disc game. It came with that one disc. But Brave Fencer Musashi, people really like, so it's sought after. If you can pick this up between $20 and $30, that's a really good price. I think that's about what I paid for it. But I do think it goes between like $40, maybe even and $50 for some complete copies. So if you can pick it up for $30 or for under, that's a good price for it. These next 2 games are in a series called the Breath of Fire series. I really enjoy the Breath of Fire games, except for the PS2 Dragon Quarter, but that's a whole different story. The first 2 came out for Super Nintendo. These 2 came out for PlayStation 1. I actually had a harder time finding Breath of Fire 4 than Breath of Fire 3. I see 3 of these for every one of those. So I have to think this Breath of Fire 4 is a little rarer than 3. I will definitely say that they're more on the upper side of uncommon, lower side of rare, but even back in the day, these held pretty good prices. You know, about right in the middle, between like $25-$30 is what they used to go for. If you can still pick them up for 20, you know, $25 to $30, I'd pick them up. I do think they go between like 30 and 40 more now, but they're turn-based RPGs. I really like the Breath of Fire games. I highly recommend it to anyone who likes RPGs and has never played a Breath of Fire game. This next game is definitely rare. This is one of the rare games for PlayStation 1. It's called Brigadoon, The Legend of Forsena. It is an RPG, but it's more like a simulation type RPG. If you do find it, try to find the maps with it. This copy does not have the maps. I accidentally sold my copy with the maps when I was selling off some of my games, and I wanted to keep the one with the maps. But it's just a one-disc game. Even back in the day, this held like a $60 to $70 price point. If you can find it for $60 or $70 with the maps and everything, I think that's a pretty good price. It's a little, like I said, a little on the more expensive side. I do believe this game goes more towards the $100 mark now. But it's not worth the $100 unless you're just like looking for a rare game. I did not have fun with this game. I'm a huge lover of RPGs, and I can overlook a lot of bad RPGs as long as the story's good, the the gameplay is good, or it just and this I just couldn't get into this game. So that's just a warning, for the hardcore collectors out there. Six game's called Cassidy Chronicles. I definitely think this is pretty rare. I don't see this game that often. It never made a greatest hit, so it didn't sell as well as Symphony of the Night. If you like Symphony of the Night, I think you'll like this game. It's a 2D RPG-ish type Castlevania. Really good. Even back in the day, it used to be $30 to $40. I definitely think it's gone between $40 and $50. All these games have pretty much gone up in the last 5 to 8 years. So if you can find this for $30 to $40 complete and good condition, this one's pretty minty fresh. There are no scratches, nothing on it. Go ahead and pick it up. And this next game's always been pretty sought after and stuff. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. They did make Black Label version. I do believe, I'm not sure. I think that's the Black Label disc. But this always used to be about 20 or 30 bucks. I still think it's about 20 or 30 bucks, maybe a little bit more, maybe closer to 30 or 40. But if you can find this, even Greatest Hits for 20 bucks, I pick it up. If you can find the Black Label for 20 to 30 bucks, this is an awesome game. One of the top 50 games of all time, in my opinion. And I own like 2,500 games, so that's saying a lot. This next game, all these versus games that Capcom makes, Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, stuff like that, they're always pretty collectible, always kind of rare, so it's not a bad idea to pick up versus games if you can find them. It used to be about a $10 game. I think it's gone up to maybe 20 to 25, but if you can find it for $15 or under, that'd probably be a pretty good deal. This next game is called Chocobo's Dungeon 2. It's got characters from Final Fantasy. Obviously, it's Chocobo's the main protagonist. It's kind of a dungeon crawling RPG, top down. It's not a bad game, not great. This always has been about $20 or $30. I still think it's $20 or $30 now. It's not gone up a lot. I think they remade it, or they at least remade the first one for the Nintendo Wii, but it's a decent game. I'd only put maybe 15 or 20 bucks into it. This next game I have to think is pretty rare, actually. I never saw a lot of these copies. There's two of them, Clock Tower 1, Clock Tower 2. They both go for about the same price. I actually saw Clock Tower 2 a little bit more than Clock Tower 1, but I still never seen either of them that often. It's a survival horror game. I wish they revived the series. I really like the series. Clock Tower 3 was okay, but the first two Clock Towers were the best to me. The graphics are a little dated, but it's still a decent survival horror game if you're into that sort of thing. So, I thought I just looked this up recently. I saw it going for 50 bucks. So if you can pick it up for 30 or 40 bucks, that'd probably be a pretty good deal. But complete, probably gonna look closer to 50. Pretty rare though. This next game, I think is pretty rare. It's probably more in the middle to lower side of rare, but I never saw it that often. Actually, this is probably the only copy I've ever seen. It's not an expensive game. It's like a puzzle platforming type game called Devil Dice, but it's a decent game. It's never been super expensive or anything. I think even back in the day it was like $10 to $15. I still think you can pick it up for $10 or $15. So, but price expensiveness doesn't always relate to how rare a game is. So I think this is one of the games that are more rare than the price demands for it. So this next game's called Diablo. If you know anything about Diablo, it was first made on the PC. This is support from the PC version. The PC versions are definitely better in my opinion. Diablo is an awesome series. I really like Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and Diablo 1. But it's not a bad version of it, actually. It's pretty good. And for a PS1 game, it's actually pretty deep. But randomly generated dungeons, randomly generated loot, just like you expect from Diablo if you're familiar with Diablo. But it's this has always been a $30 or $40 game. I think it's actually closer to $40 or $50 now. So if you can pick it up for 30 to 40 bucks, that's a hell of a deal for Diablo, and it's fun. But if you own the PC version is definitely better. This next game is, I always thought it was pretty rare. I do not own the manual for it. I'm always kind of bummed that I don't own the manual for Dragon Warrior 7. But it's a 2-disc game made by Enix before they merged with Squaresoft. If you know anything about the Dragon Warrior games, I think they're called Dragon Quest in Japan. They're called Dragon Quest now, but they always have the same enemies and stuff like that, and you'll be very familiar with Dragon Warrior games if you played one. So I really like Dragon Warrior games, or Dragon Warrior / Quest games. So, and this has always been a $30 or $40 game. I think it's actually closer to $50 now. Like I said, all these games have gone up. But if we can get it for $30 or $40 complete, I'd pick it up. Hell, I'd probably pay another $30 for it without the manual. So this next game, I'm not sure how rare it is, but it's kind of collectible because it's got Cloud on it. Everyone loves Final Fantasy VII. It's got some other SquareSoft games, characters from it. It's a fighting game. It's kind of weird. I didn't really enjoy it a whole lot, but definitely collectible. $20 or $30 would be a good price for that. This next game isn't that rare, but people like to claim it is. It's Final Fantasy VII. The only reason I wanted to point this one out, not because it was Black Label, but because, see if my camera will focus here, the I in Masterpiece is misprinted on it. So this is a misprint. And I do believe, a collector at least told me this, that there were 3 versions of this game, 2 Black Labels and the Greatest Hits. One of the Black Labels, versions of the Black Labels, is a misprint with the Masterpiece. As you can see right there, the I is cattywampus on it. But if you can find it, and you know, this isn't expensive anymore. This used to be a $60 game way back in the day, but it's definitely plummeted. If you can pick this one up for 20 or 25 bucks, this version, I'd pick it up. I think, you know, people try to get $30 or $40 for Final Fantasy VII, but it's really only worth about 20 to 25 bucks. I just wanted to show, I am not showing all my games, I'm just showing a couple of them. I own a lot of, almost all the Final Fantasy games. They were great games for the PS1, so none of them are extremely that rare. So the next game is called Grandia. It's an action RPG, 2-disc game. It's a really good game. I really enjoyed Grandia. I really enjoyed the Grandia series, minus Extreme, Grandia Extreme, for the PS2. But if you like action RPGs, I'm not sure if Tri-Ace is the one that developed this or not, but it's kind of got that Tri-Ace feel to it. But it's a great RPG. Even back in the day, this was like 35 bucks or so. But I think it's gone up a little bit, maybe like 35, between 35 and 50. I know that's like a big difference. But it all depends what condition, how complete it is. I think it just came with the manual. I don't think it came with anything else, but if you can pick this up for $35, $30 to $35 complete, good condition, that's good. That's a good deal. This next game, I think it's kind of rare. Not extremely rare or anything, but it's called Guardians Crusade. I didn't see a whole lot of copies of this. And a nice pink disc. It's kind of a low-budget RPG. As you can see from the screenshots, the graphics aren't great in it, but you gotta remember, this is a PS1 game. But it's never been that expensive. You can pick it up between $10 and $15 complete. You know, it's nice to have in a collection. And the next game I'm going to show is called Harvest Moon. I always thought this was pretty rare, but I actually found a lot of copies of this game. What I mean by a lot, I've probably seen 20 of these in the wild, which actually, you know, I've never seen 20 copies of Brigadoon. I've only seen 2, I think I've seen 3 copies of Brigadoon. So, but this has always been about 35 bucks or so. I think it's actually might have gone down a little bit. I don't know, but if you can get it for $35 or $40, it might be a good deal. Definitely, if you can get it under it, pick it up. And I don't think I'm going to show any more for this video, since I've got a 15-minute time limit with YouTube. But I'll be uploading my entire PS1 stuff. I'll just go ahead and do the whole shebang. But I don't know if it's going to be 2 or 3 parts, since I own so many games. I'm guessing it's probably going to be closer to 3. So, but thanks for watching, and look for my other parts of my PS1 collection. Thanks for watching. Bye.